Are there bombshells in Donald Trump's tax returns? Mitt Romney thinks so. Trump is keeping his tax returns secret, breaking a bipartisan tradition that has gone back decades. We can't see how he's made his money or how much he's gotten from fraudulent scams like Trump University or from cashing in from outsourcing by refusing to make his clothes in America. Go to TrumpReleaseYourReturns.com to learn more. Americans deserve to know the truth. Paid for by American Bridge 21st Century Foundation.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, and welcome to Conscious Talk Radio, and I'm your host, Linda Summers, and these shows are about relationships and all that that encompasses. And the guest experts on the show will be providing you with information as to how you can become more connected with yourself. And today's topic is Mindset Miracle with Brooke Turnbull. Before we bring Brooke on board, I want to give you a little bit of background information about her. She grew up on a farm and loved living in the country, and she still does. She has 4 children that she brought up single-handed. She has 4 grandsons, soon to be 5. Brooke has been coaching mindset for 29 years. She also has child care qualifications and NLP coaching qualifications. And with that, I'd love to welcome Brooke to the show. Hi, Brooke.
Hi, Linda.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, thanks. And for everybody that's listening and they don't know Brooke is calling from Europe. So welcome. So from so far away.
Thank you.
You're welcome, but yet so close. So with the Mindset Miracle, okay, first of all, I don't know, if people really understand what Mindset Miracle is. But before we even go there, I want to kind of find out your story, a brief story of how you even got to getting started into mindset, because you've been doing this for a very, very long time.
Yes.
So can you?
Yes, I came across mindset in my early 20s, and I was just absolutely fascinated by how your mindset can actually alter the way your life runs. If you think negatively, you'll have negative things happen to you, and if you think positive, then positive things can come to you. And it's amazing how powerful your thoughts are. So I kind of researched into it and got so fascinated about it and started talking to people about it and started coaching, and it just kind of went from there, really.
Did you find in your own life that when you're using this, because the topic of today is Mindset Miracle, did you find for yourself that when you were going through certain things and when you started diving into this, that was actually happening, you were changing your own mindset to change your own life?
Definitely. My childhood wasn't that great, and so my mindset needed to be sorted to be able to really go into adulthood. And like I said, I had 4 children that I ended up bringing up single-handedly. So to deal with that, and there's only 5.5 years between my 4 children, so they were quite close together. So to have a positive outlook on life and a positive mindset to face the challenges I faced really did help me to get through my 20s and my 30s, so I found it a great help to sort of practice it myself, really, and that's where it started. I sort of used all the techniques on myself, and then said to my friends, "Oh, this is really amazing," and started talking to them, and it grew from there, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had a session with you, and very interesting enough, it really is bringing to light the conversation that we have with ourselves and really seeing in a different perspective. So it's pretty amazing, and it really is true when we do change, it's like change your thoughts, change your life. And so this really is about changing that thought process. So what are some mind blocks that can you give the listeners?
One of the most popular ones at the moment is money mind blocks and confident mind blocks. A lot of people struggle to earn money and can't understand if they do earn the money, why they end up being back in the same place as they were when they started. Like a lot of people that win the lottery will end up back where they started, or sometimes even worse, in debt or completely broke, and they don't understand why that happens. Down to your mindset and how you think about money and how it all came about. So I delve into people's lives and find out how they think and feel about money, and it's quite surprising when I do that, and they'll say, wow, yeah, oh my goodness, that makes so much sense, because a lot of people are actually sort of have their own mind without realising it, because a lot of people don't realise the thoughts that they're having are affecting their lives so much.
Right. Well,
and it's the same with confidence as well. If you, with confidence, if people say, "Oh, I can't do that," then 9 times out of 10 they're not going to be able to do that. But you've probably seen lots of stories of people that have overcome adversities that you wouldn't have thought that they would be able to, and it's because they have decided that they can do something and nothing's going to stop them, and that's purely a different change in thought to saying, "I can't do it," to "I can do it."
You know, it's interesting because when my children were growing up, when you talk about "I can," whenever they would say "I can't," I would have them write out the word American, and at the very end, I would have them circle "I can." So every time they would say something, it would be like, "Okay, write out the word American." They're like, "Oh my gosh, okay." And so it really is true. But I want to go back to when we're doing this and we're shifting this mindset. Do you feel like it's a long process, or is there a time frame? And I know you really can't put time on it, but, is it where people think, if I change my mind, then my life changes, which is true. But what would you say to the process in order to have them shift in their thinking to be able to have, I don't want to say the rewards, but the rewards from that?
Yeah, and it depends on the individual person, and some people can go through something traumatic and then think, right, that's it, I'm going to change my life, I'm going to change my thoughts, I am going to change it, I am going to do this, that, or the other, and it will change instantly. Other people that have had things happen sort of gradually over their lives and not realised it and not realised what they're saying, have to kind of like rethink their whole thinking process, and it takes time to sort of remember to say different things. Like a lot of people will say things automatically without even thinking about them because that's what they heard as a child, and it's just a natural thing to say. But they don't realise it's actually a negative thing to say, and they're actually sort of just programming their mind to go down the negative path, but they don't realise it. So then if it's something like that, it takes a while for it to change sometimes. So it can be instantaneously, and it can be like a change sort of. Some people, like, it's the same sort of thing with medical things. If somebody has a heart attack, but was a heavy smoker or a heavy drinker or ate loads of like junk food, they can suddenly change overnight and say, that's it, I'm not going to smoke, I'm not going to drink, and I'm going to eat healthy. But another person who sort of kind of doesn't feel too good for a few months may then gradually just sort of cut things out and bring in things that are better for them. So that's the same sort of principle, really.
Well, and I think, too, if people can recognize the benefits, I think that's really what the key is if I do this, what's the benefit? How is it going to help me?
Exactly.
And this is what you're really saying, is that your life can really change. And, if not having, because we're blocking ourselves with these thoughts of not being able to have the money or the confidence to be able to move forward, then the benefit of that would be that it would unblock all that, and you would be able to, bring in money and be confident and go out and do what you do, what you want to do in your life.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of my clients, I literally start them off by saying to them, what do you say to yourself, or what do you think as you get out of bed in the morning? And they go, sorry, what? It's like, exactly, people don't think about what they actually think about as they get up out of bed in the morning. But what most people think generally is, I've got to go to work, oh my goodness, I've got another day doing this. And they automatically start that negative pattern. Whereas I get my clients to like completely think differently, and I go completely the other way and say, okay, I want you to jump out of bed and say, I'm amazing. I'm having an amazing day today. Today's going to be amazing, and something amazing will happen. And that then gets them thinking of like in a positive way. And I know it's a bit extreme, but it helps them to remember. It's like a trigger thing to remember. And the difference it's had, even after like a couple of days, people said, it's completely made a difference to my day, how I get up in the morning and what I say, and they quite laugh and say that their husband or their partner or their wife thinks they've gone a bit slightly strange, but after a while, sometimes their partner's actually joined in with them and does the same thing, and it's changed them as well. So it really does make a difference what you think about from the minute you wake up and throughout the day. And I often tell my clients, if you get a sort of a during the day where you feel a bit sort of like a lull and like you're thinking, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, just remember, you're amazing. Throw your hands in the air and shout, I'm amazing, I'm having an amazing day. And it just completely changes their thought pattern and their attitude about the day.
Yeah, absolutely. I fully agree with that. No, do you any other tips that you can give them if they, saying amazing, or maybe they're in a place, or would you suggest like turning on their favorite music? So I think this really is to raise our vibration. Yes, it seems like it would be.
Exactly. Yeah. Anything that makes you feel good and cheerful and happy. Music is a great one. Like get some nice upbeat music on and just move around. Just sometimes the thought of actually just moving around, especially people who work in a job where they're sat down a lot during the day, you kind of get sort of stifled. But if you just get up and walk around and move around and get your blood pumping around your body, can make a big difference. Obviously you've got your blood pumping around your brain and just thinking, it's a great day today. Or ask yourself, what can I do today to make this day great? Go out and smile at somebody. I often say to people, go out shower, don't sit in the office. Go outside, get some fresh air and just smile at somebody and say hello, because they'll normally smile back at you, and it's amazing the ripple effect that can cause, just that one simple thing of just smiling.
Absolutely, absolutely. And do you use the NLP as well with the, and for people that don't know, that's neuro-linguistic programming? So do you use that as well when you're doing your process with people, the mindset process?
Yeah. If it's needed, yes, I do that as well. Yeah, because it sort of like helps them sort of like to associate things with their mindset. It's all about associating things, because our brains work with associating things. If I said to somebody who loves cream cakes, and then now start talking, we can imagine a nice taste of a cream cake. And if I said to them, okay, eat this lump of coal, they'd be like, oh, no, and their face literally screws up the thought of, oh, no, because it's associating, the thought of what a lump of coal would taste like. And that's what we need to do with our words. We need to, have things that we can associate with that will help trigger us to think about positive things and about money, because a lot of people have sort of real negative views about money, but it's just what they've been brought up with, and not necessarily their parents are negative people. It's just things that are said to them that have been ingrained into them and they don't realise it. So it's just making yourself really aware of what you say and what you think. And it's like a lot of people say, oh, I've tried doing that. Well, instead of saying I'm going to try to do that, say I am going to do that. It's just that slight change of words can make a whole difference to whether you actually do something or whether you don't.
Exactly. So, so true, so true. When and something else that just kind of popped into my mind is, too, you've raised brought up your children single-handed, and you're doing this work. And so it seems as though they have been under the umbrella of your teaching. So have you seen a difference in your children? Because what I think is really important as well is that if we can start with the children from a very young age, right, and deprogram of whatever programming they've had, but we have to be in the awareness first. So can you kind of touch on that as well?
Definitely, yes. One of the things it used to highlight with my children was my house was called the I Can house, because in a lot of people's houses they've got rules. You can't do this, you can't do that, don't do this, don't do that. But in my house I had you can do this here, you can do that, you can do this. And it was all the positive things that they could do. And my friends, I remember one of my friends came in with her 3 little boys who were horrors at her house, because she was always telling them, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. And they said, can we go to Brooke's house, because it's an I Can house, we can do things at her house. But because they had so many things that they could do, it wasn't an issue about the things that they couldn't, because they knew what they could do, so they did the things that they could do, and they thoroughly enjoyed it. And my children have grown up with that. And now with my grandchildren, they also do that with the grandchildren. They've got I Can house. It's like, I can do this, Grandma, do that, Grandma. I'm like, I know you can. That's great, isn't it? It's lovely to see that my children are implemented it with my grandchildren, and my grandchildren are now telling me what they can do.
Yes. Awesome.
So, yes,
How powerful
it's very, it is, yeah. It's making us think about, you're just focusing on the positive things that they can do, and that's a big thing with that mindset. What you focus on comes about. It's like a very true case of if you get up in the morning and you stub your toe and you say to yourself, oh, that really hurt, I'm going to have a, and you think, oh, that's terrible, I'm going to have a bad day, then you turn a shower on, you've got cold water, and just everything seems to go wrong as you go throughout the day. But if you wake up and think, it's going to be an amazing day, something amazing is going to happen. You're focusing on something amazing happen, and something, whether big or small, will happen amazingly because you're focusing on the positive rather than the negative. And although it may sound a bit of a strange thing, it's very simple. It's going to just remember to do it, and it does make a difference to your day because what you focus on will just sort of like radiate through.
Right, and it's so important, and that's where we talk about you co-create your own reality, or you create your own reality because we're co-creators. So this is where we talk about so people that are not familiar with, or they are familiar with, and are thinking, well, why would I create this in my life? And the word and the unspoken word and the thought, because we know everything had begun from the thought. So it's so important to what you're saying is to really be mindful, right, of what you're really thinking and what you're really saying, and to be in that positive aspect. And we're role models for our children. So, and if we can begin with that, with ourselves and recognize it in ourselves, then we can certainly help our children, which is just, to me, is just, they're our future, and if we can begin there. So,
especially with children, although it's hard to do to kind of get your head around it, but if you focus on praising them for the good things they do and ignore the things that aren't so good, they'll do more of the good things. Because if you just give them attention when you think they've done something wrong, say, no, don't do that, you're giving them attention. And sometimes if that's the only attention they'll get, they'll do more things that aren't right just to get the attention. But if you focus on all the good things but think too much about the bad things, then they will do more good things. And that's exactly what I did with my children. And I bought 4 of them up single-handedly because I thought I need to be able to take them out places and be able to do things with them, and not people say to me, oh, no, don't bring out Brooke around here with them horrible children. They're causing havoc everywhere. They were really well behaved, but I used to let them know what was happening as well. I often see parents say, right, let's go. If a child in the middle of playing a game with the child they've gone to visit, they're going to be saying, oh, can we just do this? Whereas I used to say to my children, okay, just to let you know, 10 minutes time, we're going to have to leave. So whatever you're playing, if you could just get it all wrapped up and sorted out and finished off now, that would be great. So they were prepared and they knew that we were going to be leaving it, and gave them a chance to sort of wrap up and finish off what they were doing rather than kind of whisk them away halfway through having a great time.
Mhm.
So it's all about sort of preparing and being positive as well. You're giving a positive example to them, and they'll give on back because what you think about, what you focus on, like I said, you project out and then you get that back as well.
Mhm. So what would you say, because some people might say, well, I've got a busy day with working and, being the mom or the dad, and I have to come home and do this and do that and then deal with the kids and so on and so forth. So what would you say to that? When people get, because, the parents are now working, so we get, very busy lives, and how would one deal with that?
I think with that, especially with dealing with children, that the biggest thing to remember is whatever that child has come home and brought to you, whether they're worried about something or whether it's a picture they're drawn, if they're, sort of 2 or 3, to them, that is a major thing because that's their whole world. And if you can just spend a couple of minutes acknowledging that and saying to them how well they've done, and that's a really good thing, rather than just saying, just leave it be, I'm busy cooking a dinner, or to them, that's you just kind of annihilated their whole world. Because when you're 2 or 3 and you're doing a great picture at nursery or kindergarten, then that is a major thing in your life. But, I mean, like I say, we do get busy and sometimes we forget. But if you do forget and kind of like sort of push away, you can then like, okay, I've got to be, you know, amazing. Remember to be amazing, because then my children will know to be amazing. Just stop yourself, take a deep breath and say, okay, you know, I'm sorry, Mummy was busy. Let's have a look at the picture, you know. So you can't, you know, everybody's human at the end of the day. You're not, I don't get it perfectly right all the time. I do things like, oh, no, shouldn't have said that. Rewind. Sorry. Okay, let's start again. Because, you know, at the end of the day, we're humans and not robots, so...
Exactly. Well, and it's like, don't fault yourself, that we come into those moments that, you know, we're not perfect in every moment. So as long as we can become aware and recognize that, absolutely.
And don't be hard on yourself, because life is so busy, like you say, you know, with working and children and like, children going to different activities after school and stuff, and you're just rushing around all the time. And sometimes you sit down and think, oh, you know, once the children are in bed, or, you know, what I said was a bit sort of like harsh, or, you know, I didn't give, you know, little Joe enough attention or whatever. But the next day, you could say to them when it's a bit quiet and calm down, you know, look, I'm sorry, Joe, yesterday was a bit sort of like manic. You know, what you did was great, I think. You know, let's have a look at it now and let's talk about it. You know, so you can always show them it's okay that if sometimes you get things wrong, and then, but, you know, just to say, look, I'm sorry, you know, let's talk about it today, or let's do this today.
Exactly. There was something else I was going to ask you about. I think it's what you're saying, too, is for the adults, because I know with us getting caught up in wherever we're at in that moment, that if we can recognize if we're too busy for ourselves, right, and then we neglect our children or our husband or our partner or whatever, right, then it really is what you're saying is that it's really coming back to ourselves and recognize, oh, my gosh, you know, I've been busy, and it's really, you know, it's having you shift yourself, because how you are is going to be how you will be with other people in relationship to other people, whether it be your immediate family or outside of your family. You could be in the grocery store, like you said, and if you're in a bad mood, then that's going to affect, you know, everyone around you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it all comes down to it as well with thinking back to the mind and thinking how you think about yourself and your self-worth. Because if you don't think much of yourself, you will actually project that, and people won't respect you and won't think much of you either. So you need to, like, make sure that you think about yourself and don't talk badly to yourself, because if the conversations that you hear in your head, like when you look in the mirror and say, oh, I'm a mess, oh, you know, I'm looking haggard, oh, I'm looking old, would you have a friend and let a friend talk to you like that, or would you talk to a friend like that? No, you wouldn't, would you? So, you know, you are your own best friend, so you should be giving yourself compliments and praising yourself, saying, you know, you've done a great job today, well done, you know. Even if you've gone to the grocery store and you know, dropped the milk on the way back and the kids are fighting in the back of the car, there is always something during the day that you can say, I've done a great job. I got the children to school. I got the children back in one piece, you know. I got the groceries. Okay, we haven't got any milk, but I got all the rest of the groceries. There is always something that you can say that you've done that you can be proud of yourself for. But I find writing like a gratitude diary at the end of the day, if you're going through a really bad spell, just think of 3 things minimum that you've done today that you could be grateful for, and that is an amazing thing to help lift your own spirit as well, even if it's the fact that you're grateful for the guy at the checkout smiled at you rather than like completely ignored you as he was checking out your groceries. You know, it doesn't matter how big or small it is, it's just the fact that you're feeling grateful for things, because if you start writing down things that you're grateful for, then you'll end up having more things to be grateful for, and it's like a knock-on effect.
Wonderful. Absolutely. It makes so much sense. So can you give us some tips on confidence, like to unblock confidence? You mentioned one about staying in front of the mirror, but is there any other tips, or really that could be one of the tips as well, like to kind of give more an explanation of what you mean by that? I think confidence is really key.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing, if you haven't got much confidence, great things are affirmations, but I don't mean affirmations like I'm wonderful, I'm great, you know, I'm going to take over the world type things. Realistically, start with, you know, just look in the mirror in the morning and find something that you do actually like about yourself. I mean, years ago, I wasn't a very confident person, so I started off with, okay, my eyes aren't too bad. So I was like, you've got nice eyes. And then I built it up and built it up where I can actually now stand in front of the mirror and say, you know what, you are beautiful and I do love you. But, you know, it could take a while, depending on your confidence level, to actually sort of say to yourself, yeah, I do love you, you are worth doing what you're doing. And that all ties in with how you feel about money and how you feel about life as well, because how you feel inside will always reflect outside. And I can probably look at somebody and have a chat with them for a few minutes, and I can tell them roughly how much they've got in their bank account purely by how they feel about themselves and how they talk about themselves, because it's all connected. It's all to do with your self-worth. You talk to lots of successful people. You think of like Richard Branson, and you think of famous people that like Einstein, things like that. They didn't give up because they were convinced and they knew in themselves, they were confident in themselves that they were going to achieve what they did. And even though Richard Branson was dyslexic, he didn't let that stop him, because he had that driving desire and the confidence that he could achieve what he wanted to achieve. Yes. And anybody can do that, but it just takes time to build it up. So that's why I'm so passionate about mindset, because anybody, I don't care what walk of life they've come from or how confident they feel or not confident, you can change your life if you change your mindset.
I love that. So do you have any specials going on right now? I know there's a special offer that you had mentioned in the information that you had sent me. Can you let us know what that special offer is?
Yeah, I've got a special offer at the moment. I'm helping people to sort of like actually smash through their mind blocks. They're either money blocks, confident or fear blocks, for $150, and it takes about an hour to an hour and a half to do. So it's quite a lengthy session. But after that, then they'll know why they've got the fear, or why they're not confident, or why they've got the money blocks, and the tools to help them to overcome them and work through them.
Now, is this a special offer for only people that have that are tuning into the radio show, today or thereafter? Because we'll have it posted up as well over social media. So, is it for anyone? Is there a length of time that you're going to be running this for?
Yeah, I'm running that till the end of August. So, anybody that contacts me and says that they've heard it through the radio, they can have that special right through to the end of August.
Okay, and then we'll have your email address and as well as the Facebook page up, so people that will connect the radio show, and it'll be on the video for that. Do you have any? I know you talked about a webinar or a workshop. Do you have that going? Are you doing one of those?
Yeah, I've got a workshop that's going ahead. So if anybody's interested in coming on the workshop, that's a 4-week workshop. And it's all going to be like recorded and stuff, so if they can't get on the workshop times when I am, because of the time difference with me being in England and a lot of people being in America, they can watch the recording of it. So yeah, if anybody's interested in a workshop with me, they can also get in contact me through the Facebook, or they can email me and I can put them on the workshop. That's no problem at all.
Okay, perfect. So we'll have all the information up there. Yeah, they can contact you in regards to seeing what else that you have on. So last question, what is one thing, I know this would be really tough because everybody's like, oh my gosh, one thing, there's so many things I have, but what's one thing that really has been something in your own life that's really made this transition for you on this path, like a gem that you can give the listeners?
Just basically deciding and believing in yourself that you can do anything that you want to do. You just need to sit down and think, what is it I really want to do, and have the mindset that you can do it. And if you have the mindset that you can do it, there is a way to find out to do that. And it's like that. Anything. I mean, like with me, technology has never been a great thing for me, but I've decided, right, that's it. I can do technology, and the things since I've decided I can do technology, the things I've learned to do with technology is absolutely amazed me as well. So it's just actually deciding to go ahead and do it. And if anybody wants to contact me to have a one-to-one chat with me about what they'd like to do and how they could go about it, then feel free again to either contact me through Facebook or email me and my email address, and I'll get back to them. That's not a problem at all. I'm happy to help anybody. My mission in life is to help as many people as I can reach their full potential of whatever they want to achieve in life.
Wow, that's so wonderful and beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Brooke, for being on the show, and we'll have all that information on the video as well so they can connect with you and, see about breaking all these blocks and going forward. So thank you so much for being on the show. We greatly appreciate having you here.
Okay, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
You're so welcome, and we thank all the listeners out there who joined us today and the ones who will be joining us after via YouTube. We thank you so much. Please don't forget to follow, subscribe, comment, and like us, and you can join me next week, July 21st, for the next show, How to Overcome Conflict with Confidence and Live More with Inner Peace in Our Relationships with Kirsten Strom. So thank you again, Brooke, so much for being on the show. It was just amazing. It really is true, like you said, once we change the thoughts, our lives change, and so the mindset is definitely a miracle. So we greatly appreciate having you on the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
And we'll see you all next week. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Are there bombshells in Donald Trump's tax returns? Mitt Romney thinks so. Trump is keeping his tax returns secret, breaking a bipartisan tradition that has gone back decades. We can't see how he's made his money or how much he's gotten from fraudulent scams like Trump University or from cashing in from outsourcing by refusing to make his clothes in America. Go to TrumpReleaseYourReturns.com to learn more. Americans deserve to know the truth. Paid for by American Bridge 21st Century Foundation.
Fashion Emergency Hotline.
Help, I'm hosting my annual pool party and I need to look fierce.
How about an amazing bathing suit?
It can't just be a bathing suit, it needs to be a major ensemble.
You need to go to Old Navy for the hottest swimwear, super soft tees and tanks, and the cutest summer dresses.
Old Navy?
Yes, right now get 30% off your purchase or 40% off if you use your Old Navy card. You'll find shorts, tees, and swimwear.
40% off? Oh, I'm sold. Now I can focus on my pool float decor. Thank you.
Don't thank me, thank Old Navy. Valid 7/14 to 7/18. Some exclusions apply. Subject to credit approval. See store for details.